وشفت حالات التغير التي حدثت في المجتمع من هياج عاطفي شديد صاحبه حالات رغبات في الانفصال ورغبات أخرى في الاندماج، رغبات في التطهير العرقي من قبل جماعات محددة، وده حصل بشكل عفوي. حصل في الجمهورية التشيك، تكونت جماعات بعد الثورة مباشرة في بداية التسعينات، وكانت بتدعو إلى تطهير البلاد من الأجانب، وحتى هذه الدعوات وصلت وتصاعدت إلى درجة أنهم كانوا يطالبون أيضا بأن يعني يغادر أبناء هذا البلد وهم الغجر إلى مكان آخر، وحصلت ضغوط شديدة بالفعل أدت إلى توجه الكثير منهم إلى مغادرة البلاد إلى دول زي كندا وغيرها. ولكن سرعان ما هدأت بالطبع هذه الموجة الحماسية، أو على الرغم أنها يعني استمرت إلى فترة ووصلت إلى مرحلة أنهم كان بعض الجهات بتدعو إلى في بعض المدن التشيكية بتدعو إلى عزل الغجر عن باقي المواطنين البيض لأسباب مختلفة كانوا بيدعونها في حينها، ولكن أيضا أعتقد الزملاء سوف يتحدثون سرعان ما خابت هذه التوجهات العنيفة. طبعا أنا بقول الكلام ده لأن إحنا في مصر عانينا من بعض هذه الأمور في السنوات التالية للثورة المصرية في عام 2011، وأيضا ظهور بعض الدعوات التي تدعو إلى نوع من العنصرية الدينية ودعوة البعض إلى مغادرة بلادهم بحجة أنهم لا يتفقون مع الغالبية في الدين إلى آخره. فمقاربة إلى حد ما يعني صاحبت هذا الحماس الثوري كما حدث في التشيك. أيضا نجد هذه الظاهرة كانت موجودة في سلوفاكيا، وفي حيث توجد أقلية مجرية يصل عددها إلى حوالي نصف مليون في الجزء الجنوبي من سلوفاكيا، وأيضا الأقلية الألمانية في التشيك، دعوات أيضا لعودتهم إلى بلادهم إلى آخره. في الواقع يعني سؤالي اللي أحب أبتدي به هذه الجلسة للزميل من بولندا سؤال عام إلى حد كبير، وهو إلى أي مدى تقبلت الأجيال التي عاشت التغيرات الجيل القديم الذي انغمس وقضى معظم حياته كان في النظام الشيوعي، الجيل الوسط الذي عاصر في مقتبل حياته التغيرات السياسية والاقتصادية والثقافية في البلدان الأربع وبولندا بالطبع، ومدى تأثير أيضا هذه التغيرات على الجيل الذي ولد بعد الثورات في الدول وخاصة الدول الأربع وخاصة في بولندا.
First of all, let me say thank you very much for inviting us here, and thank you also for all of you to join this conversation. Talking about Poland and the generation, like my generation, I would say, who roughly remembers the last communist years, but basically grew up and this in the period after the transformation. Well, of course, there is plenty of things which are kind of we feel as being changed. First of all, it starts with a very practical issues that you can freely travel all over the Europe. I mean, I still remember as a child passing the border between West and East. It happened that I had the chance to go to West Germany with my parents when I was around 10 years old. So still I remember the border between the East Berlin and West Berlin. And I also remember me being in high school and then, at first have the chance to just go freely to Austria, to Germany and to France without, in fact, having to take care about visas and having to take care about borders. And this was definitely one of those big experiences, if you want, which really, I believe trace us. And when I was comparing this to the generation of my parents and generation of my grandparents, it was something which they practically never, dreamed of. So I would say, to put it, if you want, very short on one example, this is something which is a huge impact, because now really we can feel that Europe, I can talk about myself, but I really feel that Europe is my place, apart of the fact that, of course, I'm from Warsaw, from the capital city of Poland, and of course I feel involved with the place where I originate from. But at the same time, I know that if I want to search for a job in Spain, I can do that, and I can go there, and I'm really happy about it. This is something which I believe substantially changes my life and changed the life of our generation, who first kind of was exposed to this experience.
Many minority elements in countries like Poland and Czechoslovakia, which means like Slovakia and the Czech lands, because there were like specific situation. The Slovaks had their Magyars, and in the Czech lands there had been living about 3 million Germans. The drastic experience of the war years led to a very undemocratic decision in this field when the Czechoslovak authorities, which is to say predominantly the Czech authorities, decided to solve the German question once and for forever, which means that we really got rid of the German minority by expulsing them. Like 3 million people were deported westwards and being robbed of all their belongings, which was definitely based on the principle of collective guilt, and up until today represents a very sore point in our collective memory. It is a problem which started to be discussed in the 1990s, which in comparison with these days were a fairly liberal period in the Czech Republic. But now it seems that it's not a pleasant or welcomed topic anymore, and I don't want to say that it represents a profoundly great serious problem in the relations between the Czechs and Germany. But it is still a point which brings to mind the Czech behavior and the Czech, the state of the Czech society after the war years and shortly before the onset of the communist regime, which also had to do a lot with the atmosphere which enabled the communists to come to power. And after the dissolution of Czechoslovakia, I've been always saying that the Czech society was confronted with a very revolutionary historical change in terms of, never before had the Czechs been living alone in their historical area. And after 1992-93, this finally happened. And when saying finally, I don't mean that I regard this change, the dissolution of Czechoslovakia, and the fact that we are, so to say, the masters in our house. I don't welcome this change too much because it has a profound impact on the Czech mentality, which in my view has suffered a lot in terms of like isolation, xenophobia, and so on. And these are not just hollow terms. I really can observe and I can feel it very intensely that the Czech people have lost a lot. They have, in other words, lost an impetus, a provocative impetus